to see me. People are like, we don't need to see you in the videos, Hank, but I'm still going to bring it up. Good, there's me. Now, if you watch this video, then you'll see me. So, the first thing, first, here's the class webpage. And, it starts with all the typical syllabus stuff. Sam, I can hear you. I can hear you. So grading, etc., how it's evaluated, late policies, class attendance, all the syllabus stuff, and then the good stuff's at the bottom. So here's Project 1 and here's Lecture 1. So all this is on there. If we go to Project 1, then it's got stuff for this differencing program and for Project 1A. Okay? So I'm going to go to CMake.org. And there's a download page and the latest release, and so I'm running on Unix and Linux, so I'd click right there, and so you see with my Chrome on Mac I get this thing right there, and then if I were to go back to my downloads directory, it's a lot of downloads. Here's the file that was just downloaded, and it's a gzip tar file, and I'd do this, and I'm just going to build it in my downloads directory, and then I go into the directory it makes, and there's a program called, I believe it's Bootstrap, there it is, Bootstrap, that will compile CMake, and at the end of this process it's looking at my Mac, it's deciding what's there, what's not there, what are the compilers it wants to use, etc. And at the end, it makes this program. Okay? I'm going to skip ahead. Then I would go to VTK.org. Yeah.
I'd suggest that Linux people actually do that and not from apt.
Yeah.
Apt will install the old one.
Yeah. So good. So the suggestion from Stephen is if you're a Linux person, you're used to installing software, and then there's well, okay, and so there are ways you can just do these magic commands depending on what version of Linux you have that will install software, and it's a your mileage may vary situation. I actually think if you install it and it works, you're good to go. If not, I would encourage you to do a build from source as I'm doing here. So here's VTK, it says Kitware is hiring. They email me all the time, oh, do you have any students? Right, they always want to hire students. So here's downloads. And I would like, well, let me say, I warranty version 8.12. I don't know if warranty is the right word. If you use 8.12 and there's a problem, I will help you. If you are using some other version, it doesn't work, I'm like, hey, I think you should use 8.12. So that will be my first question. If it doesn't work, I'll say, are you using version 8.12? And I download that. So I'm going to get it from source. How's my CMake going? It's still going. Whoops. So I already did this. And if I go to in my home directory, VTK and VTK 8.12, then I'd already untarred it, and I ran CMake and dot. And that dot means the current directory. And then CMake, when I do that, it goes and looks at a file called CMake list.txt. Here, let me bring that up. That has all the instructions for how to build this beast. And so then it's finished, and it generated a make file. And then I can say make, and it will compile VTK. So I already did this, and if I say make, I expect it does like nothing. Okay, so now I've cheated. Uh-oh, I decided to recompile that. That's interesting. So I've cheated here because, you see, I'm still compiling CMake, right? And you need CMake to compile VTK. Well, I was using one I'd already built, okay? But, step one And I'm going to look straight into the camera. Step one is you build CMake, and once you have that CMake, then you can build VTK. And so you see now my CMake, I ran Bootstrap, and now I'm going to say make, and it's going to, and at the end it will give me this binary CMake. And I need that because when I want to build VTK, I have to use CMake to generate the make files. Okay? And now that I've done it, you know, I've built my CMake. You know, it's almost done. But you know, once you have a CMake, then you go and do the steps I already did here, where you say CMake dot and then make. Now, if you're a Windows person, you know, it's not as like I really dig the command line terminal type stuff, right? I aspire to never touch the keyboard. It slows me down. I'm sorry, to never touch the mouse. It slows me down. I only want to touch the mouse. And if you're a Windows person, there is another version of CMake called CMake, and it brings up this GUI, and then you can go and edit things. And then when you're done, you press C to configure. And so basically pressing CMake and pressing C to configure is the equivalent. See, it gave me an error there. It said I don't have the right version of CMake. Is the equivalent of just running CMake. So if you are a Unix or Mac person, I would just do CMake dot. If you're a Windows person, you're going to have to be in the CMake world, and you just say configure, and it will generate your project files. Okay, so now let's go to the class website, down to Project1, and so this is the differencer program that you'll be using for the first part of the course, and it just differences two files. So I'm going to download that. By the way, if I click on this, it gives it to me, you know, here, and I could like highlight it all and copy and paste it. That always leads to problems. You always miss a line or something, so I never do that. What I do is I do save link as, and then save differencer. And my version of Chrome, for whatever reason, even those files called differencer.cxx, it's saved as differencer.cp. I'm sure some developer thought they were providing some great service of adding a new suffix on my behalf. You know, I wish I could send the person a nasty email, but whatever. And then this CMake list.txt tells CMake how to build the file. And so this is my CMake list, or this is, I'm on a Mac, so I'm going to download the version for Mac. And you see I've downloaded several of them, and so my Chrome actually called it CMake list2.txt. You can see the little 2 right there. So I'm going to go back. 441 winter 19 examples, my directory. How did I have done this wrong? I put an extra 9 in there, didn't I? And then I'm going to make a directory called differencer. I'm going to cd to differencer. And then I'm going to move from my downloads directory, the CMake lists. But I'm going to take it. But I don't want it to be called CMake list 2. I want it to be called CMake list.txt, right? And I'm going to move the differencer.cp. And then this is a really important moment right here, okay? See this right here? This tells CMake where stuff is and what to do. It says that the project is called differencer. And it says, let's try this. It says that the, that's not going to work. It says that the VTK that it knows it needs to succeed is located at users, Hank, VTK, VTK812. That will almost certainly not be the case for any of you, right? You have to make a home directory called Hank. Wherever you install your VTK, you need to change it so it points to that location. Okay? It's like I'm trying to make rustling sounds. It's like I'm super incompetent with a mic. So what I just said for the video is that this line right here has to be updated to point at your VTK installation. Okay? But for me, I didn't have to update it because it's actually the one from my machine. So then I say CMake dot. So first off, if I do an ls, there's only two files here: CMake list.txt and differencer. If I say CMake dot, it did a lot of stuff. If I do an ls, now I've got a bunch of its cruft. It is shameless about leaving cruft in the file system, but it made a make file. And I can say make, and then on Mac you have to put in like some large path because it's trying to do some special fancy Mac install. And I run it, and it says, well, I can't run because when you run, it wants to take in command line arguments with argc and argv, right? And it says, well, you need to give me image names. So then I go to Project1. See, here's the correct answer. I'm going to download that correct answer. I'm going to download the skeleton program. And I'm going to download the CMake list.txt. And then I'm going to make a directory called Project1A. And I'm going to move So now I've got the right answer, right? Mac's awesome because you say open, right? And then it'll just bring things up, right? So those that don't know about open on your Mac terminal, it's really great. It just opens stuff with the right program. So there's the correct answer. And I can again, you all should update the CMake. So now instead of saying differencer, it says this project's called Project1A. It says that's where VTK is. So I say CMake dot and make. And if I do an ls and run it and do an ls again, the first time if you looked at it, it said, here's these files, and then the first file in the third column was project1a.app. Now there's a project1a.png. That's what that program just made. And it actually made one pixel be red, but because Macs have curved windows, you can't see the red pixel in the bottom corner there. So when I do my YouTube lecture tonight, I will I'll play around with this a little bit and show you some more. And then if we were to run the differencer program and say that we wanted to compare project1a.png with allcolors.png, it would say, well, they can't possibly be the same because they don't have the same number of pixels. If we were to go to project1a.cxx, the first thing it does is it allocates a new image, and it's 10,024 by 10,024. If you look at the prompt says that, in fact, the output should be 10,024 by 1350. So now if we recompile and rerun, and we run the differencer, it will say, well, now they're not correct because they both have the same number of pixels, but in this one it's this color and that one's that color, and there's a difference there, and here are the pixels that are different. If I'm just going to make a copy of the correct answer and call it hank.png, if we ran differencer on hank.png and allcolors.png, it'll say both images have the same number, the number of different pixels is 0. Congratulations. If you get that, you did it right. You should submit your code. Okay? Yeah?
Are you going to test all of this on XStat?
Yeah, so I don't think we need to. So it's a great question. I'm going to take that in a second because I want to stop my video, and I want to make sure there's anything more about CMake, VTK, etc. Yeah.
Do you have a particular preference as to file extensions? I can't stand the CXX file extension.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, good. Let me stop the video.